I sense there's a great deal of confusion about the two covenants out there in the wild land of Bible study and Bible discussion. Hebrews 7 verse 11 and following is very clear. If perfection was through the Levitical priesthood, for on the basis of it the people received the Torah, the law, what further need was there for another priest, this is Jesus of course, to arise according to the order of Melchizedek, and not to be designated according to the order of Aaron? So it's quite clear we're going to have a massive change here. Verse 12, for when the priesthood is changed, of necessity there takes place a change of Torah. Is it clear? God never changes. His character never changes. His purposes do not change. That, however, is one category. Quite another category is his dealings with us. And there's a new covenant. Here you have a plain statement that there takes place a change of Torah also. For the one concerning whom these things are spoken belongs to another tribe, namely Jesus, belonging to Judah, from which no one has officiated at the altar. So the change from Levi to Judah is self-evident. Verse 14 of Hebrews 7. It is evident, self-evident, that our Lord, Messiah Jesus, that is, was a descendant from Judah. That's not clear to people at all. They think he antedated his own ancestor and was pre-existing forever or as an angel. That's simply false. Jesus was a descendant of David by miracle in Mary. That tribe of Judah was a tribe with reference to which Moses said absolutely nothing about priests. Moses spoke only of Levi. And this is clearer still. If another priest arises according to the likeness of Melchizedek, that mysterious figure who appears in Genesis, and he has become this new order of priest, not on the basis of a law of physical requirement, the Levitical law, but according to the power of an indestructible life. Isn't that marvelous? Our priest now is indestructible. He has gained immortality. He didn't have it to begin with. He was a mortal human being who died. We know that. And then we have a quotation to substantiate that. It is attested of Jesus, you are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. For on the one hand, there's a setting aside, a reduction to nothing of a former commandment. That commandment is gone because of the weakness of its weakness and uselessness. But the law and the Levites made nothing perfect. And on the other hand, there's a bringing in, the introduction of a better hope through which we draw near to God. And inasmuch as it was not without an oath that the first covenant was established, so also the Lord has sworn and will not change, referring to Messiah Jesus, you now are a priest forever. So much the more, also Jesus has become the guarantee of a better covenant. There's a terrible muddle as between Moses and Jesus in many quarters. People are hanging on to weekly Sabbath keeping, new moons even, the wearing of tassels, the insistence on physical circumcision. All of that is divisive and confusing and complex. The new covenant is new. The Torah has been changed. We've moved from the letter of the Torah to the spiritualizing of the Torah. Physical circumcision, we must insist, was absolutely binding on Jew and Gentile in Genesis 17. You could not be part of the covenant people, Jew or Gentile, unless you were physically circumcised. Quite the opposite is true in Galatians. So the whole book of Romans, the whole book of Galatians, the whole book of Hebrews virtually, and 2 Corinthians 3 are dedicated to this massive change, which people simply don't seem to be able to grasp, that under the new covenant, the Messiah Jesus is the new priest according to Melchizedek, and under that requirement, those social divides like Sabbath keeping, food laws, are set aside. The social divide, the identity markers of Israel, are set aside for the express purpose of taking the gospel to the whole wide world in terms of the new covenant, which is written in Greek in the New Testament scriptures. We must get hold of that, otherwise we're forever laboring under a mixture of covenants, and that's not doing anybody any spiritual good.